Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Interesting one today. Sort of going to a bit of new territory for myself. Yeah. Extended shifts. Weird one. Funny though, yeah. Talked to someone last night in a mining company, and they're going to do the same thing. And their company isn't going to pay them their normal wage. They're going to just pay them base rate and a little bit of a bonus on top of that. So instead of getting their full wage plus a bonus for staying and helping their company, my old mate that I talked to last night is going to get shafted, and they're only going to get like 10-15% extra to help out this multi-billion-dollar company. How good is that? COVID, I think that the lesson from that is, I guess, in times of crisis and need, people and companies tend to go back to their basics, their basic instincts, their basic things, and some people get insecure and lock up and get frustrated, and there's all different ways of coping mechanisms. But companies tend to not really give a shit, and like you'll hear of good companies that actually look after their people and appreciate people helping them out. Mining doesn't seem to be that way, pretty much. It, from what I've heard last night from a friend, it's not good. Not good at all. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing when all these, especially mining companies, are making billions of dollars a year, or even a month at the moment, from ever since COVID started. Very weird that you think that they'd stab their own employees in the back and do that. So yeah, not good to hear that happening over there. Can't say where he is. Don't want to get him into trouble, but because you say anything, you will get absolutely backstabbed. Oh yeah, I've known that many a time myself, personal experience. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, just a good learning lesson. I guess it's hard in these lockdowns and all this crazy stuff that everyone in the world is going through, that it's sort of people sort of, with some people get nasty, some people sort of, it's a great thing. They'll come out and become really helpful. They'll realise that, it's not all about money and power. It's, it's about your family and friends, and that's what it's all about. If the only thing that gets you through the day is knowing that you're richer than someone else, then you're going to be a pretty lonely person. Even if you've got people with you, it's going to be a meaningless relationship anyway, because you obviously don't care. Family is important, friends are important. I've been very lucky in my life. I have some of the best friends I can imagine, and not one or two or three. I've got people I consider in the multiple teams that I would trust my life with, and I've been very lucky in that. And I think a lot of that comes through sport, and obviously my family, which is, we've always been close. But in sport as well, I've got people I consider brothers to me. Their family is my family, and I'm sure, I think sport, that's the best part about sport as well. You get that camaraderie, and you get to learn that when you're down, that there's always someone there for you. Especially in these times, that's sort of a really good habit, and I sort of something I hope Jack, once he grows up, he'll play a sport of whatever kind. I'd love for him to play baseball, but if he doesn't, as long as he plays something and he gets to, I guess, have those friendships and relationships with people, and to know that it's not all about money, that money comes and goes. I've seen it come and go. I've seen rich people become poor people. I've seen companies go under and go. We've all seen many companies go under and go bankrupt. And you look at the phone industry and tech industry, which we talk about regularly, to know that companies come and go. Olympus got sold off. Nikon's not far off from that. There's many spaces that we can recollect in the last few years, let alone the last 20, 30 years, where companies have done the wrong thing, they haven't looked up, they've made wrong decisions, and they've ended up just disappearing into the abyss, especially tech. Tech's important. So, look, stay strong. It's a tough time for everyone here in Australia, and pretty much the whole country's gone back into lockdown. So hopefully in a week's time, after all this, it'll settle down a bit. We'll get back to where we were, I guess, before that last week happened, and sort of get back to, I guess, normal lives and get to go and see our families and friends again. And that's what it's all about. Don't worry about work, business, all that. You can start that again. You can build another business. You can get money if you need it. That's all zeros and ones in a computer now. Money doesn't really exist. So that's nothing to really worry about. So, yeah, I hope that sort of made some sort of a point. But, yeah, it's a little bit interesting to talk to someone about that and to sort of have that conversation. It's like, not good, not good. Now, some positive stuff. Well, I think for one of those companies we talked about, Nikon. Let me just get my notes up. Nikon come out with a new camera last night, and it's a little bit different. And from the people talking about it on YouTube, got to say it was probably all about the same opinion. Like, it was a bit of a meh. You know, the old meh, that was popular a couple of years, meh. Well, it was definitely a meh, sort of a, like, oh yeah, okay. Now it's the Nikon Z F6, and it's a retro-styled APS-C camera, which is a little bit crazy, I think, an APS-C. Basically, the short version, it's a internals, all the internals, pretty much sensor everything of the Z50 in a retro body. Now, it's not a fully solid steel with a leather wrap like the old proper retro ones. It's a plastic lookalike of the leather finish, sort of a move, with all the dials. Basically, it's a retro theme. It's not a retro styled. It's a retro themed camera with a Z50 internals. That's basically it. Now the Z50 is about $800 American. This model, you're going to pay an extra $100 odd US just so you've got retro. I don't know. Now APS-C, I don't really know. The video specs, there's not many video specs out there. It'll do 4K at 30. It'll do 1080 at 120. So it's okay. The Z50 actually, autofocus wise, did look at a chat with Jared Poland. He talked about the camera, and he actually said the Z50 out of the whole Nikon range, that was actually the best autofocus. So at least you've got that going for you. You've probably got the best autofocus camera. That's including the new Z2s for the 7 and 6, both those second series. They're still not as good as the Z50. So at least you're getting, I guess, the best of Nikon. You're not getting a big sensor. It's not going to be able to do amazing low light. It'll do up to, I think, 50,000, and then you can expand it out to 200,000. But it's an APS-C sensor, so it's definitely not going to be as good as a full-size sensor in that regards. It's a travel camera. It's a talking point. It's 6 or 7 different colors, so it's more of a fashion item. And I think it's going to be more for hipsters, as I said to the boys in Ingaf. It's a hipster doctor that's going on a holiday to nowhere because the whole world's locked down. So they couldn't have released a travel camera at a worse time. Now, this is for a company that's really, really struggling. Nikon had not had the last couple of years have been really bad for them. Their premium pro camera, the Z9, has just not turned up. It's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and still nothing. So they don't have anything to bolster their lineup to say we're here. We get a premium mirrorless camera. We're still in the game. They don't have anything there. Their autofocus is renowned as average. Average, I'd say, not terrible, but average. Definitely Canon and Sony, the only two that can autofocus. The best IBIS is Olympus, and weatherproof is Olympus because it actually has a rating. Canon and everyone else doesn't have a rating. They just go, it's weatherproof, because then they don't have to pay warranty if it is. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing and a little bit weird, I guess. If the world gets out of lockdown and everyone can travel again, yeah, this would be a nice little camera, and they'd probably sell a few units. I can't see them selling too much. except for people that want to show off just the camera, having, oh, I've got a retro style camera, check that out. Oh, looks cool. That'll grow old pretty shortly, and you'll just be stuck with an old looking camera worth more money than the Z50, which is actually, they're probably their best camera at the moment. So for overall sort of thing. So a little bit different. Look, it does look good. There's nothing wrong with retro style cameras. 40 years ago, I guess, I was using a retro camera. It wasn't retro then, it was the latest one. So it's sort of a little interesting to see that everyone now going back to that. Guess it just shows I'm getting old, and yeah, that's life, isn't it? What do you do? Now, Canon, well, we were hoping for the R3. That didn't happen. We did get the 14 to 35 though. The 14 to 35 released worldwide last night, and well, fantastic. We knew all the lens. With the last 2 days, I've put that up on the vlog, and so we knew all the specs, and it's pretty much all there. 9 aperture blades, 0.2 of focusing, all that. It's a beautiful lens. What we were hoping was it was going to be around that $1,200 to $1,300 US mark, which it wasn't. They put it straight up to $1,700, and yeah, so that's about $2,300 Australian, depending on taxes. So maybe we might get it at $2,500. So it's definitely L series so it just blows everyone out of the water for cost. That's an F4, so it's by, I guess there's 70 to 200s in the same price range. It's 2,400 or something here. So I guess it's fair enough, but there's just no lenses. I went into one of the shops for RF mount. There's literally 3 lenses. Ooh, that's gone flat. My bad. I should have charged that. There's literally 3 lenses that are under $1,000 for the RF mount. That's a 35, the 50, and the 24 to 105, which I'm using now. And I've got an RP, so I'm in the budget range. I've got the RP. There's literally no lenses to buy for this system that are budget conscious or affordable for people like me, little creators or people who want to go and take photos that they can't afford. If you buy an RP, you can't afford a $3,000 lens, Canon. It's just insane. They need to, as much as they got some fantastic glass, they need some affordable lenses in all sorts of different sizes. They need at least 3 zooms. They need a wide angle zoom. They need some wide angle just base primes in a affordable glass. Otherwise, because none of the other third parties are making lenses for your kits. There's literally minimal that you can buy. It's really disappointing. So what we've got to do is go and buy EF glass and put it on an adapter, and it's nowhere. It doesn't show off your mount. It's slow. You can hear it. They're noisy. It just doesn't take advantage of that R camera. So it's a little bit disappointing, I think. If it had been 12 to 13, that brings it under $2,000. That's a great lens that everyone could use and go out for smaller creators. It's under the 2,000 mark. A lot of us can't claim it on tax. So yeah, look, I understand. Look, it's got image stabilization compared to the Sonys and the others. Canon rumors did talk about that. The other 2 lens offerings from other manufacturers are actually in the same price, but they don't have IBIS. So look, I understand it. It probably is okay value, but there's just no options for the RF mount. And like, we're not hearing of anything. We're hearing about all this amazing pro glass, pro cameras coming, but there's nothing for us. And if they say, oh, we're going to bring out epoxy APS-C, I'm out. Like, it's just crazy, man. You're better off going to Sony, because you've got 30 different options for lenses. You're going to go to something you can afford and get something decent for your money. So like, Sony has that part down. They've shared their mount. You can get glass from anywhere, and like Canon, just whatever reason, I don't know what they're thinking, but they just will not. They're not helping themselves by not having options for lenses. It's really disappointing. So anyway, that's that. It is out. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic lens. It's just, I guess, if it's in your budget, and it's not an affordable budget item, I think, and they need some affordable. I was hoping it was going to be at least under $2,000. It's obviously not. Just with conversion, it's 23. I wouldn't be surprised if in the shops here at least 2,500 or more, depending. And then they'll maybe put some sales on to actually sell some units at maybe 10-20% off or something for Christmas. But yeah, anyway, it should be out in August. And look, if you can afford one, let me know. And you do get it, I'd love to know how good it is. I'm sure we're going to see all the reviews in the next few days. Now it's been released, I'm sure there's Canon guys out there that are going to tell us how amazing it is. And you should go out and buy it and you know, sell your kidney there so you can afford it. And then while you're there, sell your other kidney so you can put a payment on the R3 that we still don't know about. So we'll hopefully this week, we should hear something about that. So who knows? Now, last but not least, VW. Very interesting. They have come out and announced, big announcement, that they are going to make, no, they will no longer make internal combustion engines for the European market by 2035. So 2035, VW will stop making internal combustion engines, and pretty much closely follow behind that in maybe 2036, 2037 at the latest. They basically won't be selling any internal combustion engines worldwide. Now this, under Tesla, Tesla's obviously now the biggest car maker on the planet, but VW was probably the second with their footprint. And look, that's a big deal. Australia, I just can't see, if you live in Australia, we really can't see how we're going to, that's only like 14 years away. Was it 14 or 21? Yeah, 14 years. We've got to somehow get infrastructure in place, work out how anyone's going to be able to afford one of these electric cars other than one of the crappy ones. And yeah, we've got a long, steep hill to climb to electric land. And yeah, it's going to be tricky. Our politicians can't even get a vaccine out. I'm not sure how they're going to work out how to fix this little issue, because it's fantastic to say, look, we don't care. We can push back our fossil fuel rates and all that, but there's literally going to be no cars for anyone to buy, no cars for businesses to buy. Now, they turn them over every 3 years with their tax incentive for tax reasons and stuff like that. People turn over the cars. Government agency turn those cars. What are they going to do? Are they just going to go and buy cheap, crappy electric cars because they can't afford to buy real ones, or there's just no options, or yeah, or does that means our taxes are going to go up just so the government can buy these expensive cars because they've put massive taxes on them? Yeah, it's a little bit weird. But I think more so the car issue is a big issue, but I think the infrastructure, we've got a big continent. It's a lot of land. There's a lot of roads that aren't in cities, long highways, superchargers. You're going to need superchargers. You're going to need all the different brand name superchargers. So how they're going to do that, it's going to be a little tricky. If someone can work it out, I think the government needs to contact that person, because they're going to need all the help, because they've literally completely stuffed up the vaccine for COVID-19. It's just been a total, utter abortion. And I wouldn't be surprised if at the last hour on the last day of this swap over, when there's no more cars being made, Australia's going to go, oh, yeah, we'll change. I think we might think about electrics now, eh? Should we put an infrastructure in? Oh, yeah, let's put that in the budget. But that's about it. Yeah, shift change no more shift change, no more going home. I'm working for the next few nights until these guys can leave, and then I can knock off and have a few days and sleeping. But yeah, just keep plugging away, and what do you do? Hope you're all well. Stay safe, stay sound of mind. Yeah, watch a movie, chill out, ring a friend. If you haven't talked to someone for a while, catch up. That's always good. That always makes you feel better, I've found. Whenever I get a little bit like I need to talk, I just ring one of my mates, have a bit of a chin wag, talk some, shoot the shit, as they say, and yeah, switch yourself off from all the bad things and talk about the good times and all that sort of stuff. That's always good, I find. There you go. Maybe I should have been a psychiatrist. Rightio, wherever you're going this way, that way, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.